Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Business Spotlight interview series. Today it's my pleasure to host Jonathan Montgomery, who's the Managing Director of HybridMail Solutions here in Northern Ireland. Jonathan, delighted you could join us today. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Rich. All good here. What about
Good,
yourself?
good. Why don't you share with us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it for?
Sure. You've touched on the name Jonathan Montgomery, Managing Director of HybridMail. We are a digital direct mail service. What that means is we manage organizations' postal requirements. It is the start of their digital transformation in that we receive print-ready files which are securely transferred to us, and we print, pack, and post those items. It has many benefits such as cost savings, staff savings, and a reduction of carbon footprint, which is very applicable at the moment. So as well as the benefits, it's it's a product which is in the news at the moment because it's related to Royal Mail. The issues that the post office have had will be detrimental to the postal market in general, but HybridMail can offer a solution that initially for digital transformation, customers' postal requirements are printed, packed, and posted out through the postal network, but there's an easy transformation to make that into a digital product so that it is electronically transferred or transferred via SMS message, or it can be a complement of all three of those methods of communication.
Excellent. So how long have you been doing this for?
I've been in the market for HybridMail. Really became a product from about 2008, and I was in the industry. I've been in the industry since prior to then. HybridMail as a company was formed in 2011. It was set up by the previous business owner, and I was actually a consultant that supported his business plan at the time.
Yeah.
It ran successfully for about 12 years until last year. McGowan's Print, who was my employer, we had a discussion and we bought the business, HybridMail Solutions. We brought it in as the direct mail entity for McGowan's Print, and now it's a standalone business that manages both HybridMail Solutions customers and previous McGowan's Print bulk direct mail customers.
Very good. So talking about customers then, who is your ideal customer?
Yeah. Anybody that has a mailing requirement, ideally, it would be large organizations, whether that's private sector, government departments, councils, health and social care, hospital trusts. Those are the large organizations which are ideal. In the private sector, it's financial institutions, housing associations, insurance brokers, anybody who has a bulk requirement of direct mail. Some of them would still manage mailing requirements in-house, and others would currently outsource those as what's called a bulk mail transfer. We have additional benefits. It's very sustainable what we do. The premises here by the end of 2025 will be powered 100% by renewable energy sources. All of our suppliers for materials are supplied to them by sustainable sources, and then that leads to a reduction of carbon footprint of about 50% in the production of creating the mail and having it posted out to the destination addresses.
Fantastic. So I wore the right color of top today. You're very green in your business, and from the suppliers right through, sounds excellent.
Exactly. Well, I think it's the sustainable way, and it's the right way to do it. It's the way of managing what would be seen as older traditional requirements, such as direct mail. It is certainly a diminishing market, but there is still a very large demand for those requirements. So it's bringing a sustainable product into the marketplace that suits what business needs and what their sort of corporate social responsibilities also are.
Super. And when you say about bulk mailing, is there like a minimum number of mails? Does it have
Yeah.
to be like 1,000 plus or 10,000 plus or?
It's a great question. The answer is no, there's not. There's no minimum volume, and there's no setup costs. So we just create an account. It's accessible online through just a web browser. You have access to your account. You can choose to download what we call, it's a printer. It's called a print driver, which would be available at any user's desktop, or else you can drag and drop in a print file through the web browser. That gives accessibility to people working from home. So it supports the public sector, people working from home. They don't need office printers. Historically, a government department may have 15, 20, 50 multifunctional print devices across their buildings in all different floors on desktops. So this consolidates, aggregates all volumes, whether you're a small sole trader business, an SME, or a large organization, everything is aggregated into print volumes, print queues. And so if you only send out a couple of letters a day, you're benefiting on what would be wholesale costs. You're getting the benefit of the bulk volume discounts.
Very good and very, very interesting. What's been your biggest learning, Jonathan, since you've become managing director of HybridMail Solutions?
Good question. Biggest learning, I would split it into business perspective, and then I would have my own as a sort of responsibility of being an employer. From a business perspective, the biggest learning has probably been managing cash flow, being able to manage the cash flow. Direct mail requirements come with, say, for talk's sake, it may it's 75p to print, pack, and post an item. Within that, we've got fixed costs of postage, and we would pay Royal Mail on a direct debit off of those items within a 7-day period. Bulk users would ask for 30 days payment terms, so we've got a lot more outgoings before the incomings come with it. Now, some accounts, organizations that we work with, we can manage that cash flow in a better way. And we've also just implemented an online payment tool for customers. So it's like people who may have experience using a franking machine, they would have a credit balance on their account, and then they would manage their workflows. So being exposed to learning the cash flow element to the business has been probably quite difficult because of the emergence of the two organizations last year that we did through bulk mail and then HybridMail as a company. I think learning wise as an employer, it's sort of be the well-being of the company rather than myself as an individual. I come from a sales background and I would have been focused on how can I make money? What am I gaining from this? What's in it for me? Whereas being a business owner stroke employer, it means that it's the general well-being of employees and of the business.
Very good. And all good learnings and all good stretching for you personally.
Yes, I have to say I really do enjoy it, and it is there's a lot of personal development along the journey. So yes, every day is a challenge, but it's one that you wake up in the morning, you don't know exactly what's coming that day, but you look forward to your challenges and deal with them. Yeah.
Excellent. So, Jonathan, when you were growing up, is this something that you had always wanted to do? Run and manage and own a business?
It's difficult to say that as a toddler said I want to own my own business. I think the easy answer to say would be absolutely yes. But I would have lacked probably the confidence. There are other life responsibilities, family commitments, and so on that would have stopped me fulfilling that sort of dream or ambition. But I certainly would have been ambitious that I would have liked to be the employer or be the so-called boss of an organization rather than being an employee, being told what to do on a daily basis and so on. I like to try and lead and structure things and develop. So yeah, probably just in the past I've been guilty of waiting for the right opportunity, thinking that, you know, the right time will come, and pass up on previous opportunities that I have had.
Yes.
So I would say yes, absolutely, but there's been reasons which have stopped me from doing it in the past.
Sure, sure. And I fully understand that. So what has been the biggest issue that you've had to overcome?
So we purchased HybridMail as a business last year, and it's a fantastic company. We purchased a fantastic company, but it was a small business. It was run without a lot of policies and procedures. It was a family-run business.
Yeah.
And so integrating that to put into place the right policies and procedures over the last year has been very challenging, because once the business is handed over, then we inherit existing accounts, and they quickly need to be managed, and they were managed in a fantastic way previously, but we needed to integrate that into our current systems and processes.
Sure.
So a lot of staff training, developing, implementing the transition of the business. We were very lucky, for the want of the right word, last year, that we were successful with winning what is the first public sector Northern Ireland account for HybridMail services.
Well done.
And thank you. That was challenging to win the business in the first place, and now to implement and manage that on an ongoing basis. So that's been a great challenge. It has given us the opportunity to employ additional staff, train staff, get them up to speed with the software, and also from the production end of the business. And then we will look to grow that next year. So the challenge of integrating the health and social care contract that we have won, it has great potential. It's about 1 million items of mail a year, with the potential to grow significantly above that. So
Fantastic.
exciting to see that develop.
Yeah, exciting to hear local companies growing and doing well. Sounds good. Sounds good. Every success going forwards. So what have you learned about yourself on this journey?
Um, I would say what I've probably learned is I've been willing to do what's needed to get jobs done. Over the last year in particular, it's been wearing a lot of hats, taking on a lot of responsibility, and just rolling up sleeves and getting on with things to get jobs done. And whenever I look back and reflect on that, I'm sort of proud of myself that I was able to do that and implement it. So that's been good learning, to know whenever it's been required. I've stuck into the hard work on many aspects and got that done. So that's pleasing to do it. But I've also realized the importance of firstly family, and secondly health as well, because last year has been a very time consuming for work commitments.
Yeah.
Really long days and hard work, and then you start to sort of appreciate more family support and family time, and then also leading into really your general health and well-being that comes with that. So just, I guess, maturing as responsibility increases, and appreciating the important things that are in life.
Good, good. Again, all good learnings and stretchings for one's personal growth, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And that's the type of person that I am and that I want to be. So I absorb that and accept it, and deal with it and move on. So it's been great for me personally and professionally. So it's been exciting times.
Superb. So, Jonathan, who inspires you in business? And that can be international or local or whatever. Who would really be an inspiration for you?
I would be inspired by people who, firstly, positivity is really key to me. And they're passionate about what they do. So it comes from all walks of life. I wouldn't there's nobody that I could throw out and say in business really inspires me that way. It would be more that I'm inspired by some friends that I would have or colleagues. I'm a really keen golfer, for example. If I go for a golf lesson, if a golf professional has got real knowledge and know-how and can identify something very quickly and relates that in a positive way, then I would walk away from it and I would learn from that situation and go, he explained it perfectly, understand that he's enthusiastic about what he does. It's been positive. It's been a good learning experience. So, Rich, I would say that from business, I enjoy speaking with past employees, and there's a couple of key people that I can speak of that I would engage with that have been previous business owners and have got business experience. So
Yeah.
they would inspire me in that sometimes you've got challenges in front of you, and it's good to get good advice, good counsel on that, and know that the answer is normally yes, I've had that experience and dealt with it this way. So
Yeah.
I think without saying anyone in particular, that's
Sure.
what my sort of life learning, and I would get my experience from.
Super. So always good to have that network that you can reach out to and get some guidance and direction from as well. Learn from other people's experience.
Absolutely. And it's just having the confidence to be able to do that, to ask people
Yeah.
and talk about business situations or opportunities, or talk with employees and consider the team's response to how to manage situations and so on, and best practice and how we implement better workflows and that type of method, rather than being a dictator at the top. It's engaging with everyone and understanding that there isn't only ever just one way to do things and achieve things.
Excellent. Really good share. So do you have any sort of like favorite books you go to or podcasts you listen to for inspiration or anything like that there, motivation?
I've listened to quite a lot of podcasts. More recently, during lockdown, we got a family dog, Labrador.
Lovely.
Also, I do a lot of walking early mornings and evenings whenever I get home. So I do listen to a lot of podcasts. A lot of podcasts would be for my golf swing and technical advice on that. But I do enjoy Jake Humphrey, High Performance, where you get a good mix of interviews, and you get a good cross-board of input into that. He concentrates and focuses a lot on core values, which are transferable through all walks of life, whether it's industry, business, or personal development. So a lot of those are quite inspirational and enjoyable.
Great. So tell me a wee bit about what the future looks like for yourself, HybridMail, and do you see any main challenges going forward?
2024 is really exciting for HybridMail Solutions as a company. There's a lot of growth. We have a strong pipeline of opportunities. We have consolidated our two businesses, and we've got streamlined services in place. So there are a lot of opportunities. So I'm really looking forward to engaging with those and hopefully have the success of growth that comes with that. We've identified a lot of local organizations that will benefit from the services that we provide. And it isn't just the cost savings, it is more the corporate social responsibility. Businesses will save money, but they're also supporting a local business grow and develop, and the green benefits that come with it. So it is exciting times ahead that will lead to further local employment, in that we will grow our resources here, staffing resources. And that is challenging in its own at the moment in the local market, trying to find the right individuals with the core values that come in and develop the business with the right values, and can learn sort of skill sets as they go and develop. But that will be part of 2024 is growing staff and getting the right values in place for the organization. I mentioned at the start that HybridMail's journey will be that it is ultimately an electronic communication as an output. So initially, HybridMail is print, pack, and post. the journey will be electronic. It would be silly to ignore that. And as a business, there are actually more margins because you don't have the capital equipment requirement to do the fulfillment, the printing firstly, and then the fulfillment aspect of it. It is just an electronic communication. So that gives us an insight into what way the future of the business will go. But there are tens of millions of public sector items being processed via HybridMail in the UK. The growth hasn't yet come into Northern Ireland. We have won the first contract that incorporates all health trusts. So I'm looking forward to engaging with the health trusts and showing them the benefits on a cost basis, on a staffing basis, that they don't need then the staff resource, because we're all aware of the implication of limited staff within the trusts, and then the green benefits as well within the health trust. So the public sector will be a great market for us throughout this year, and we'll look to develop that and grow it.
Very, very, very good. And especially in the health trusts, every penny they can save and put into the actual health side of things rather than the admin would be beneficial for all of society.
Absolutely. And that's exactly the key to it, and particularly with the health trusts. It's not redundancy of employees. It means that there's resources there that can be reallocated to areas that need that support. So we'll provide them with savings, but then they can restructure their resources into the areas that are most needed for it. So.
Exactly. Oh, great. Excuse me. So what would you say to anybody thinking about going into business for themselves this year, for example?
Take the plunge and go for it. I think, just talking from my own personal experience, I did invest in I Go For It program maybe 20 years ago. Had a business plan set up, set to do it, and then just cold feet and didn't follow it through. I was sure it would work. It was a great opportunity, but sometimes there are opportunities, but the market isn't ready for it. So it's just have the right product and the right service, but if there isn't a demand there for it, then obviously it's not going to succeed, or it's going to take time. So it's just having sort of ducks lined up, understanding we've got the right product, yes, and then is there a demand for it? And if those two come together, then it's easy to say hard work, but working in a smart way, and that you're structured and you're setting yourself goals and targets, and you're reviewing your data to understand what's important to you as a business, what's working out and what's not, and making your changes so you're adaptable to those. So just having the right a structure, good solid business plan, and don't be afraid to ask for help and support from peers and people that you think can give good advice.
Great advice, Jonathan. Good shares, and I would encourage everybody to follow those steps and that advice. If you could take the clock and wind it back just a couple of years to where you're 18, what's the best piece of advice you could give an 18-year-old Jonathan?
Well, unfortunately, I would say there's definitely more than just a couple of years ago now. I've really felt that over the last few years. So it is a wee bit more than just a couple of years. But an 18 would have been too young. If I want to give myself advice, I wouldn't go to 18, I think. I would be in my early 20s. And it would be just to start understanding some structure and goals in life, having targets of where do you want to be, what do you want to do, because you can be well educated, but not really have a focus on what's the benefit of the education, what is my purpose, what drives me, what motivates me, what gets me enthusiastic. So and just follow your dreams, and don't take no, and as corny as that sounds or whatever, I do say it to myself, because my wife always says to me, I'm very, very competitive, particularly with sports, and golf now would be my passion. My wife keeps reminding me how old I am, and I'm playing with 20-year-olds, etc., and just trying to compete and keep it going. So if I send myself, it would be just be more goal orientated, and be specific, and review your goals, and keep learning and moving forward. And if you just do that every time that you're progressing, then you'll satisfy yourself. You'll feel good about yourself, and you'll succeed at whatever you want to do.
Excellent. Look, Jonathan, really appreciate all your shares today, all the wisdom and advice from your own personal journey that you've shared on the Spotlight. And as I said before, really wish yourself and Hybrid Mail Solutions the very best success going forwards. And thanks so much for taking time out and spending it with us today.
Really appreciate it. Thanks for reaching out, and hopefully it will help just advertise your products and services. And it's been great to catch up. Thanks very much.
You're welcome, Jonathan. Thanks very much. All the best.